Welcome all to the mighty Pines of Portland, where today's match is presented by Visit Maine. It's with a warm glow that we invite you into an unmistakable place. An ascending AV Alta is set to hit the scene, 8 games unbeaten and beaming with belief, set to test themselves against Portland in their hearts. Howdy folks, Pitt and Gallagher with the former pro, Ricky Lopez. Aspen, as you can see, Ricky, AV Alta playing as well as anybody. Portland trying to get above the playoff line.
AV Alta on the visiting side, 4-1 wins against Naples. So for Ryan Claiborne, they're going to be full of confidence to come into this hostile environment. And for Portland Hearts of Pine, historically, they've been very good here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. So first 10 to 15 minutes crucial in this match.
It will be a serious test, but not one unfamiliar with the visitors today. AV Alta, these sides clashed recently just within the last couple weeks.
Really good goal from Alaribe and for this AV Alta side, but on the other side for Portland Hearts of Pine and Bobby Murphy, it was Asad Liati to get on the score sheet. For Brian Klebin, you're going to feel hard done by. You let a result slip through your fingers in the last 15 minutes. Look for AV Alta to respond here on the road. Ollie Wright playing so well as he steps into this game. Last time out in this venue, he scored a hat trick. Player to watch, presented by High Roller Lobster Company. Ollie Wright, when he's in form and ready to go, hard to beat him. Ollie Wright, just a nightmare to defend. He can beat you 1v1. He can beat you through combination play. And last time out, scored 3 fantastic goals. He's a ruthless finisher. Look for him to really ask some questions of AV Alta in that back line. Speaking of hat tricks, Eduardo Blancas was brilliant last time out against FC Naples. Only a couple days off the first hat trick in the history of AV Alta. 6 goals on the season for Eduardo Blancas. You can score every single type of goal in the book, whether it is through his movement, but also a dead ball specialist. The technical ability, never in question. He needs to be a big-time player if AV Alta wants to steal points here on the road. And if Portland is to stand their ground, they will have to get through this man. Carlos Avilés, 7 saves in the last matchup between these two teams. You see the athletic ability and the shot-stopping ability, but it's also been his ability to organize the players in front of him and organize that back line. Look for him to be a leader within the sticks of AV Alta here tonight. Prepare yourself, folks. It's a noise that is hard to miss, and it belongs to Portland. The Hearts of Pine up against AV Alta, two of the new clubs in the USL League One. At odds here tonight. Folks, don't turn that dial.
Hey. Allagash White for you. Can I get you a beer?
Yeah.
Let me give you a minute. What you thinking? Choose one.
I'll go for Allagash White, too.
Nice. That's my go-to.
Start your night with Allagash White.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Visit Maine. Lineups fresh from the press. They're presented by NBT Bank. For Portland Hearts of Pine, a shuffling of the deck for Bobby Murphy. It's a 4-4-2.
When you have a little bit of a different formation for Bobby Murphy, you need a foundation. So that's going to start with Lopez and Wada. Lopez is going to be that single pivot, which allows Wada to be a little bit more aggressive at filling under the gaps of Washington and Keegan. Look for them to work off to another really well. Washington will run in behind it, stretch that back line, and Jake Keegan will be that focal point to play into for Portland Hearts of Pine.
See how big of an impact Natty James might make as a sub. As for the opposition today, AV Alta, Brian Klaben, as dogmatic a manager as there is in this league.
AV Alta, they want to get on the ball, they want to dictate tempo, but that also allows that front three to have a lot of fluidity. Mariona might come to the right-hand side, Desdune can float and just search the game, but the constant will be Blancas. He will stay centrally. He's a target number 9, likes to play into his feet and combine within the attacking unit.
At 59.48% on average possession, it is the most in the history of the USL League One, held by this AV Alta bunch. They will test their mettle in a cauldron of noise. They played Elvis, and they are ready to put the gloves up here in Maine. Portland Hearts of Pine and AV Alta at odds once more in the USL League One. Once more joined by the former pro, Ricky Lopez. Aspen, I am Peyton Gallagher, and prepare yourself. This is the sound that you will hear in your ears all evening. The pulse of the place. This is Portland, and it's live. AV Alta on the longest active run of unbeaten results, all competitions in the league and elsewhere. As for Portland Hearts of Pine, always difficult to come into the Sharks' teeth of this venue and find yourself whole at the end of the day. And we are told it is a sellout, which makes an all-time record within the USL League One, 4 consecutive in this venue, and I'm not quite sure what the plan was there.
A little bit of a different start for AV Alta, trying to play direct. Maybe try to gain some real estate to start this game.
Carlos Alvarez. Alta engaging that press straight away. Rather, I should say Portland Hearts of Pine in a quick bit of contact. No whistle will come. Luis Diego Arroyo is our center official today, and on the approach, AV Alta testing Hunter Moore straight away.
Good recognition from Mariona on this left-hand side, as AV Alta electing to play a little bit more direct. Second balls become that much more important. Good start for the visiting.
What do you make of the shape chosen by Bobby Murphy, going with the 4-4-2, the 2 strikers?
Gives you an option to play into more options and more aggressive between Washington and Keegan, and those 2 players complement each other very well. Jake Keegan's really clever within his movement, and Washington has the ability just to stretch the game. He's physical, he's big as well. So with that midfield flat for Bobby Murphy, now you have a bit more stability within your defensive set as well.
On the run, it's Kamara. He's taken off his toes. Now Ollie Wright. And again, stingy with the whistle there. Going to come, and some discontent in the camp of Portland Hearts of Pine.
Ollie Wright feels hard done by there. Initially does look like a foul. A clever player, just so comfortable in 1v1 situations. Ollie Wright.
Wright did have an assist in the earlier rendition of this meeting against AV Alta just a couple weeks ago. Now switch of the points. Settled in the corner, well held by Kamara. His cross does not meet the mark though. Keys of the game. Ricky, how do you see things?
For Portland, the first 15 minutes will be crucial just to get in a rhythm, and we already see how aggressive Bobby Murphy is wanting his boys to play. All 11 players in the attacking third. And for AV Alta and Brian Klaben, you mentioned it, Peyton, they want to get on the ball. So winning that midfield battle to impose their identity will be crucial for the visiting side.
Keys to the game presented by Pape Chevrolet. All systems go here in Maine. It's been a fast-flying start. This is a bit of a wobbly ball back into Aviles, who handles it well. Strokes a pass into midfield. And this is AV Alta at their best, just knocking passes around, but intercepted. Ollie Wrights. Space and time, he cuts a pass down the byline. And a sliding tackle obtained cleanly.
Game's being played at 100 miles per hour, back and forth, and that plays into favor of Portland Hearts of Pine for Brian Claiborne. He just wants his side to slow the game down and just take the sting out of the thousands here at Fitzpatrick Stadium.
Held by Hearts of Pine. Looking to try and cut in the cross. It looked like Messer, but it will be a goal kick. Here's Carlos Aviles, the reigning member of the All-League team for this past week. Was fouled, Ricky, 4 times. Last time these two teams got together, that's the most by any goalkeeper in any game in the history of USL League One. Not sure it matters, but it's there.
That's an interesting nugget that you pulled out. Very uncharacteristic for a goalkeeper to get fouled 4 times.
I saw that and I felt like I had to check the database, make sure that wasn't a common thing. Apparently it's not. There's some familiarity with Aviles and Sean Vinberg of Portland Hearts of Pine. Those two together last year at Central Valley Fuego, as well as several other AV Alta players.
Going to be really important for this AV Alta side, especially when building out of the back. Particularly the 2 center backs, they're going to see a lot of the ball, so have to be very clever understanding when to play in between the lines, or also when to bypass that initial line of pressure and try to play into your front line, because the last thing you want is to force a turnover, give the ball over to the Portland Hearts of Pine in a very dangerous situation.
Ellie Wright trying to go quickly with it. How does this defensive shape from Portland alter maybe some of the patterns available to AV Alta?
Just more numbers, right? So especially through that middle 4, Wright, Wadded, Lopez, and Kamara, they're going to be very clever at just sitting in behind the 2 strikers. It's a perfect picture right now on your screen. And then you have Washington and Jake Egan splitting the difference as one goes and applies pressure on the ball. Notice the other one just takes out that single pivot of AV Alta.
There is Bobby Murphy in his first year at the helm. These 2 first-year programs, the furthest distance between 2 clubs in the USL League One. Well over 2,000 miles, seeing each other for the 2nd time ever in a matter of a couple weeks.
Tough challenge there from Mikey Lopez.
I wonder when Luis Diego Arroyo would have to get involved as he blows the whistle there. Tom Felice, Eric Schreiber, Jonathan Luke, the rest of the crew, and here's another look.
Tell you what, Mikey's very lucky not to see yellow here. It's late, studs are exposed, comes over the top of Desdunes.
Has been booked 5 times this year. Mikey Lopez, the veteran. Javier Mariota. Back into Mastrantonio, back in the starting 11 today. Only started one of the last 8 games. It's a useful turn. Nothing comfortable right now for AV Alta. And cantering out once more, it's Kamara. Waiting on reinforcement. Ollie Wright's calling for it. And covered up. No foul again. Wada. Kamali Green. Striding out from the back. Kamara drops one into the channel. A nifty dribble. It's hawked down at the end line. And it's going to be a corner.
Clever movement here from the right back, Quinones, to continue his run. Center of your screen. This little touch around the corner, catch it out Pajaro. And as he goes down, not much in that, looking for it, Quinones, and you just feel for the center back. You know, if he makes contact with the ball, that it's a corner kick, and good no call from Luis Arroyo, our center referee.
Now, AV Alta have only scored the one goal in the first half so far this season. A chance maybe to break out early in this one. This corner kick is presented by Toms of Maine, and it nearly is presented into the back of the net. Avilés steps in front just in the nick of time.
Need more quality here from Jake Keegan. The way that this ball falls kindly to him, unable to generate enough power. We're about 6 yards out. You need to head this back across into that far post. Easy save in the end from Avilés.
Things opening up on the other end, though, for AV Alta. A searching ball in behind. Carved in cross that towers tall. Robledo. It gets away from Mbumu Alisson. Kept by Mastrantonio. Desdune. Spots a man running. It's saved by Hunter Morse. And that is a player that's gone to a different level in recent weeks.
Fantastic run from Mariona. Starts on his left-hand side, just plays in between Vinberg and Green. As the two center backs, you need to have a little bit more communication at just passing players off far too easily for Mariona just to come in. But this is some save from Morris. Notice how big he makes himself down to his right-hand side. Talked about the fluidity and the freedom Brian Clavin allows within his front three. Exhibit A through that last action.
Morse has made 10 saves in his last 2 appearances. Did not play against Rhode Island FC in the Jägermeister Cup last time out. Played more games this season, Morse, than any point previous in his young career, and starting to really come into himself. It's his side bound into the box. Trying to find the man in the middle. It's headed on by Washington. Kamara will reach it, but first a foul. Washington getting the start today with Noah Zagliati, scored last time out against Rhode Island. Here's Mariona, active as ever. Again, contesting the space, Portland Hearts of Pine.
Just so committed to the press right now to start this game. That is some ball from a goalkeeper. And now AV Alta, a lot of green grass just to run into.
Ramos charges the ball wide. Desdune. Set at the top of the box. Blancas. And this is AV Alta's calling card. Once more entered into the area, and this time it's easy meat for Hunter Morse.
Just so comfortable with the ball. It's AV Alta side. And just a nightmare to defend because, yes, they want to see a lot of the possession numbers in their favor, but they also want movement ahead of the ball. We've seen Mariona, Blancas, Desdune really vertical and direct within the mobility of the front line.
And able to keep it clean, Hearts of Pine. Alta have done a really nice job of handling this atmosphere inside this first quarter hour.
And how do you do that? You just get on the ball. You take the game away from Portland Hearts of Pine and the thousands in attendance here. You played this game on your terms. In the first 5 minutes were a little bit shaky for AV Alta, but since then, it's settled in nicely for Brian Clavin's side.
Dispatched out of play by Alisson. USL on CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown in the Championship Eastern Conference. Last season's final runner-up, Rhode Island FC, takes on Northeast rival Hartford Athletic on Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Both those teams really need that one. All eyes, though, in this region of the country. Trained on this venue, this team, Portland Hearts of Pine. They've been the talk of the town. Wada. Sashi Wada for Sean Vinberg and Kamali Grant. Both these sides willing to get on the ball and play through the tight spaces where it might be a little bit more uncomfortable for some squads.
Especially when you see Mikey Lopez and Wada on the ball. That movement ahead is going to be crucial and really important for Bobby Murphy's side, because as you have two strikers now, you lose that pocket presence. So as Quinones, the right back, will be aggressive, now Kamara has the freedom to play in between the lines. How can you pull out Alassane, who will be the single pivot for AV Alta? If you can make him run out of position, now you can open up passing lanes into your front two.
Now, with all that being said, what is lost with Azad Liadi not in the team today?
You lose a focal point. You lose a physical number 9 that's going to occupy two center backs and also free up his teammates. Azad Liadi, he's selfless within his work rate. So now Jake Keegan and Washington, they need to split that difference. As one makes that run in behind, you want someone to stay centrally, always playing on different planes when you have two strikers.
Liadi has scored in 3 of the last 4 games, including against this AV Alta outfit. Intercepted high by Ollie Wrights, who's been a little bit careless with his ball in behinds. Bumu Alassane, once more one high. Portland Hearts of Pine towards the top of the league in terms of winnings of possession in the final third, and that is a tactical foul. Titus Washington has the name taken.
Rightly so. From Luis Arroyo, deny of a transitional moment. He knows he's beat. Here, Washington, Robledo doing a good job at just letting the ball run across his body. It opens up the whole field. Big challenge for the striker now in terms of his discipline and positioning for the remainder of this game.
Alta are a fairly combative team generally, if that is to be some indication for the level of physicality that we might see. They've only had fewer fouls than their opponent on one occasion in the last 6 games. Portland's always up for a scrap as well. Ball in over the head of Desdune, who camps underneath. Room for a cross. Instead, a bit more patient from the Californians. It's a seeking ball in behind. Kamara, not super clean getting rid, but it does fall to Washington.
Good ball there from Kamara.
Hearts of Pine building out. Ollie Wright once more jabbing one in. This time it will sit up. Circling into the corner as Washington. Keegan was the one making the late run, and it's knocked out of play. Looks like it's going to be another corner.
Needs better recognition here from Kamara. Bottom of your screen. Once Washington peels out, you need more numbers into the attacking 18-yard box. You only have Jake Keegan versus 2 AV Alta defenders. If you want to score goals, you need more options higher up the field. And a little bit more work rate there from Kamara.
AV Alta trying to dig in and defend Portland Hearts of Pine in hopes of dialing in the range here. One of only 2 teams in the league yet to score on a corner this season. Ball in. It's Shapley just shifting through the gears and getting out. At least for the time being, AV Alta. It's a throw in apparently to the visitors. Kamali Green does not quite agree. Stepping in front again, unable to tame it though. Our Portland Hearts of Pine, and on the run with plenty of space, it's Javier Mariona. Imagination to go with. Robledo. Mariona. Javier Mariona cutting one to the top of the box. Shot's blocked. It's a brave one. looked like Vinberg. And play is summarily stopped. Some cause for concern for a head injury.
Good recognition here from AV Alta. Just notice the numbers of Portland Hearts of Pine behind the ball. Hard take here from Vinberg. Very brave just to stand in front of this shot and not let it come across you and really test Moore's. Please okay to continue on. Him and Green has formed a nice little relationship at the base of that back line for Portland Hearts of Pine.
That ever happened to you?
Trying to think.
Working through the index. I think you would remember if
Exactly.
it had. Or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
There is Bobby Murphy. Classy shirt. I'm a fan.
It's good style.
I think that's generally true. Brian Claben has been known to be one for the suit. His counterpart, a little bit too warm for that today.
Trying to make out what kind of kicks he's wearing.
What we got? Something old school, which is fitting.
It's like Reebok or something along those lines.
Some Club C's. So 20 minutes in, though. What are you making of the pulse of this game so far?
It's exactly what we've expected. AV Alta a little bit more of the ball for Brian Claben as we take a look at him. You want to create numerical advantages, but once you do get into that final third, you need to be a little bit more ruthless, and that's exactly what he's mentioning to his back line. Yes, we draw them out with our ball playing ability, but then when we do bypass the press, we need to go quickly and we need to penetrate in central locations.
Man, that's very passionate about how the game should be played in an era where a lot of teams are opting to go a little bit more directly just for sake of ease. He's gone the other way. Wants his team to be expressive and bold and do things the hard way because he thinks it's the way the game was meant to be played. Spent some time within the Barcelona setup. Certainly is taken after the stylings of those like Luis Enrique and Pep Guardiola. Even down to the haircut. Relenting in the press a little bit here, Portland. Now they come. Aviles.
Good positioning for Mikey Lopez. If one of your front runners do go, now you need to do and step in unison and be really compact within your pressing set. That's exactly what Portland Hearts of Pine did in that last action.
We've seen Portland's take the first half at times this year, it feels like, to feel the opponent out. A lot of credit to Bobby Murphy and his ability to alter games. So far, it certainly has that kind of stodginess. Robledo dropping in. A taste of that rotational aspect that AV Alta offer. Every player the license to go and seek space. Smoothly wide. Unable to connect that final ball. Was a little bit ambitious, trying to build out of the back. Is a little bit more direct this time. Ollie Wright, what a touch. Sidecar of him is Titus Washington, but a bridge too far.
And that is a risk that AV Alta will run. Yes, they want to get on the ball and be expansive, but if you give it over cheaply, now you leave yourself vulnerable going back the other way. Fantastic touch from Ollie Wright. But right now, you need to play this ball into Washington. You take that long touch, allows Cruz to come across. And that's going to be the next step in the progression for Ollie Wright, because he does have every single skill in his locker, but it's his decision-making. When he gets into the final third, when to take players on 1v1, but also when to bring in his teammates for Ollie Wright.
6 goal contributions for that man in the last 6 games. It's all starting to come together. Of course, these fans will always remember what he did the last time he took to this field. That heroic hat trick to overcome Union Omaha. Kamara with swagger, and around him is Keegan. He set off for the direct approach. Taken down by Wada. Not all the way clear. Ollie Wright has a whack. Then another. Still not off the hook. Kamara unable to dig it out ahead of the end line. That was nervy for AV Alta.
Good recognition here from Wada to start this last action. Center of your screen. Notice how he's the first to react, number 77, but unable to get clean contact, not once, not twice, but 3 times for Portland Hearts of Pine. And finally, AV Alta doing just enough to clear their lines. Shaky defensive effort from the visiting side.
USL 1 on ESPN 2. You can watch it July 11th as West Coast rivals take to the field for valuable Western Conference Championship points. Monterey Bay FC battles California rivals Orange County SC Friday, July 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN 2. Again, that's in the USL Championship. That action taking place on ESPN 2. Monterey Bay have been an exciting watch this year. Orange County trying to get right on the right pace. AV Alta have seen that Orange County team. US Open Cup. Well covered by Nathan Messer. Play is stopped. A foul committed by AV Alta. Kamara entered centrally. Nathan Messer, he's been the key driver for Portland Hearts of Pine this year. Hasn't had a lot of access to the game so far.
Mostly been this right-hand side for Portland Hearts of Pine. Kamara's coming century, which gives Quinones the ability to be aggressive and just to create a little bit of an overload on the right-hand side.
Kamara.
Nice pocket.
All the way wide. Cross in. It nearly connected with the head of Titus Washington, but for now, just a shot across the bow. Another counter-pressing, gaining of possession, though. Ollie Wright. Portland Hearts of Pine with tempo and with a free kick.
Good recognition here from Ollie Wright just to play centrally and requires so much attention, which gives Quinones the ability from his right back position to get himself into that final third. Just only one player, Washington, wanting to get on the end of service. Good opportunity here for Portland Hearts of Pine just to cause a little bit of chaos right in front of Aviles and his goal mouth.
The Hearts trying to strike the first blow. Aviles, a worthy obstacle. Ollie Wright, in his form, you would not be surprised at all if he had the green light. Looks like Portland's stacking a man in front of the wall to try and obscure the view of Aviles, who looks into the sun here. It is Ollie Wright. Inches.
Really difficult technique from that distance for Ollie Wright to get it up and over the wall underneath. The movement is there, the power is there, just lacking that little bit of dip to have it come back down. But good strike nonetheless from Ollie Wright.
What does a good run of performance do just for the assertiveness? Ollie Wright maybe forcing it a little bit so far, but he's earned that license.
Over the last 5 minutes, we see him starting to get into a rhythm and start to search the game a little bit more. But once you're scoring goals and producing like Ollie Wright has done as of late, now the goal looks massive. Right, you want to continue to get the ball, you want to continue to take chances, and that can also instill confidence for players around him. So Ollie Wright, if you can get him a little bit more influential on a consistent basis, he'll do a world of good. Great turn.
Kamara, spare man available. Kamara takes it on himself, and Aviles happy to stand right in front. Portland turning up the heat.
Great run from Washington. He pulls out for hard, but Kamara needs to play this ball into Ollie Wright. Takes that second, that third touch, and just closes down the window straight at Aviles. Talk about decision making for this Portland Hearts of Pine. They get themselves into really good opportunities in the final third, but time after time just make the wrong decision.
Screaming into Steven Ramos. And once more, AV Alta just unable to connect more than one or two passes. What's making it so difficult for them right now?
Well, Portland Hearts of Pine, they're really compact in their defensive structure. Once that front line does go, you're seeing that back line sit around midway line, make it really condensed between. So if you are Brian Clavin, the message to your back line is, yes, we want to be ball oriented. We want to play in between the line, but there's nothing wrong with playing a little bit more direct and gaining some real estate higher up the field right now.
Can't imagine they're making things much easier for Alta. It has been historic what Hearts have done with the backing of those so many in support. As this ball runs, the flag does eventually pop up. Wondered when it was coming. Now Alta do like to press the back line. They're towards the top of the league in terms of overall offsides per game. Portland's have absorbed much more pressure. They're towards the bottom of the league in terms of offsides drawn. An interesting contrast and maybe a marker of style of play. That was only the 12th of the season, what just happened. Ball in the feet of Hunter Morse. And pushed wide, Quinones. Kamara venturing into the middle again and probing a pass long. Ollie Wright was the target. It's cut out though. In transition, AV Alta. A long run to latch onto the ball from Sebastian Cruz. Steven Ramos. Javier Mariona with flair. Still Mariona. Tried to sneak a pass into the center. It's sniffed out. Half an hour gone. Neither side has been able to really create that meaningful moment. Injury report coming to you. Nothing to report directly. This is brought to you by Maine Health. There are some key absences in the 18 today for Portland, namely Sabliati, we've already talked about. The new boy, Sega Koulibaly, with plenty of MLS experience, just announced his signing. Not fit and ready to get going straight away. It will take some time, you would think, to get him up to pace. He's only played 6 games the last 3 years, but at 29 years of age, a player that has real big level experience to add to the back.
Exactly what you want for Bobby Murphy, a player of his stature in terms of his leadership as well. At that center back role, can do a little bit of everything, very comfortable with the ball at his feet, physical to win his aerial duels. What a signing he could be in USL League One.
This is not a team that's had issues defensively, but clearly ambition to get even better there. Sprayed wide, Kamara. JT Kamara. It was a grass cutter. Aviles on it the whole way.
Left footer playing the right-hand side. Kamara still always wants to try to come centrally. But I love the secondary movement here from Robledo. He's going to come into your screen right now and just throw off Kamara, not allow him to generate enough power or get enough shape on this ball. Easy save in the end from Aviles, but that is the type of work rate you need from a center midfielder. Just no real threat right now for AV Alta in the attacking phase of game. Just a bit too slow when they do bypass that initial line of pressure. There's no mobility within Blancas, Desdune, or Mariona. Every single one of those players wants the ball to feet. And when they play negative, that just plays into the hands of Portland Hearts of Pine because they can just get all 11 players behind the ball. And again,
what a win from JT Kamara. A clattering tackle from Rabumu Alassane. Foul is awarded. Just rounding out on that point, though, that is the benefit of the 4-4-2, correct?
And you have the ability just to drop down a bit quicker and make those 2 banks of 4 very compact and very tight. And that's what we've seen for Portland. We'll give credit to Bobby Murphy through the first 33 minutes here, has gotten this game right tactically.
Much more cagey affair than the first meeting between these two. Both going for broke when they clashed in California. You'd You'd have to say that Portland Hearts of Pine have had the better run of it so far. Messer. And Ollie Wright going quickly with the cross. Avilés obscures any chance, and a man has collided with the woodwork. It's the veteran Jake Keegan. Only played 12 minutes in the last 7 league games. He gets his name called to commence this contest, and that could have been a pretty ugly moment. Glad he's able to rise to his feet.
Good recognition here from Ollie Wright, just trying to clip this ball to the back post. Hard contact from Keegan, the way that he falls down into that post. Good to see him up on his own feet. He's a player that has a lot of experience and really clever within his movement, especially into the attacking 18-yard box. That's where he's made his living. His timing of run, playing off the blind side, been a handful throughout his career.
When you're a forward tracking a cross into the box or a ball in the air with a chance to score, does everything else kind of blur away?
Everything. You just want, you have eyes on the ball. And so many times we see strikers just getting knocked out by goalkeepers, because you do have every right to attack the ball no matter the height or where it is.
Appears a caution has been shown as Harrison Robledo is dumped. We're going to get Musashi Wada.
Just a bit late, Wada, in terms of stepping out of his position. Robledo gets there quicker. Not what you want for Bobby Murphy, especially one of your two midfielders in the book, Luis Arroyo.
Cut in field. Mariona scoping one out. Stepped in front by Kamali Green. Well won. Mubumu Alassane, but overplays his pass. And it's out for what looks to be a goal kick. A good time to tell you Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. Latest Select products, specials, and more. Ricky, what do they call it?
The player's choice.
That's right. In motion, Portland Hearts of Pine. Using Keegan as the backboard. JT Kamara, a check of the rearview mirrors. Wada and Messer. This is well-connected build-up play and right on cue. Out of play, it's a throw in to come.
We saw AV Alta elect to press high within that last movement of play. So if you are Portland Hearts of Pine and you do play direct, Jake Keegan needs to be really strong at just his hold-up play to allow his teammates underneath him to supply some support.
You do get to see, though, Portland Hearts of Pine at their best when Messer and Ollie Wright are on the same page. Bit of a tighter leash now in terms of the whistle. A chance to get the bodies forward for AV Alta. Another collision this time. It will not cause a pause in play. Well spotted in the wide areas. Keegan dispatching. A two-man game. Musashi Wada. Kamara. Wada does well to retain. Vinberg. Vinberg is dispossessed. A chance. AV Alta on the break. At the top of the area. And a spirit-filled tackle to snatch it back. And now a rainbowing ball in behind. Latching on. JT Kamara. And he's uprooted. An arresting bit of defending provided by Luca Mastrantonio.
Fantastic 1v1 defending there from Mastrantonio, especially with how tricky Kamara can be. Not to leave his feet. And when Kamara takes that touch, that's when he steps in. If you take a look at Bobby Murphy.
Just trying to manage this stretch, something that will be weighing on his mind, especially with the Rhode Island match just a couple days ago. They'll play again, Portland Hearts of Pine at home on Sunday. It's a careless giveaway, just took his eye off the ball, Masashi Wada, and could not win it back. Blancas waiting one forward, Messer unable to arrive. Desdune centrally, gets it right back. Desdune! Oh, that's a meteor of a goal. In the blink of an eye, it gets flipped on its head. Desdune strikes gold, 1-0.
Just something out of nothing here from AV Alta. Comes with a bit of a sloppy play from Portland Hearts of Pine, and no one steps up. Why not have a go from Desdune? Notice the technical ability, head down, laces through this ball, and just tattoos this thing. No chance for Morse to come across to his near post. Great goal for AV Alta in the last 6 minutes here.
Lost in the lights of all the headlines that Eduardo Blancas rightfully has won as of late. Desdune playing as well as anybody in the league. He adds another. That's 2 games in a row with a goal for him. And Portland Hearts of Pine must climb the ladder and get back into this one. It won't be unfamiliar. They were 1-0 down at the break against Union Omaha last time at home, but that is a gut punch.
What a strike that is for Desdune. Just thumps this thing into that top corner. How quickly he gets his shot off. But for Bobby Murphy, you're going to be frustrated the way that you concede this goal. Green needs to do a better job at just closing down that space. You cannot allow Desdune to pick up his head and just pick his spot. Too good of a player, he'll punish you, and did just that.
Bobby Murphy has talked all year about the what just happened moments, and that could be added, I think, to that catalog. Those are the growing pains, so it goes for a new club. That said, the next 5 minutes just became pivotal for Portland Hearts of Pine.
You cannot let momentum continue to build. You cannot let this 1-goal deficit turn into 2. And for Brian Claiborne and your side, you want to continue getting on the ball, and hopefully that goal will instill some confidence and more players taking chances. Good run.
Looping in behind, Morse is there just in the nick of time. Just on the inside of that 18-yard box.
Portland Hearts of Pine having a really difficult time just finding the balance within that front two. As we take a look at this action from AV Alta, nearly Morris quick off of his line just to deny Desdune his second in a matter of moments.
I think he may have hesitated a second to check the lines, nearly got caught out. Messer at the controls, a lofted ball that is beyond the reach of JT Kamara, and it's a goal kick.
It seems right now for Portland, Washington and Keegan not on the same page. Once Washington does elect to make his initial move, it just seems like he's on an island. You need to play off of one another if you do elect to go with 2 strikers and be more connected for Bobby Murphy.
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. And just on that, we've seen the crossing approach be the elected one with these 2 forwards in the game for Portland Hearts of Pine, but they're the only team in League One yet to score a headed goal this year.
And it's a perfect picture right now. Jake Keegan is right about 10 yards next to Mikey Lopez. He is your second striker. So if he does come a little bit deeper.
Kamara, he goes to ground. Referee had a good look at that.
Keegan does come a little bit deeper. Now the responsibility is for Wada or one of the 2 wingers to be more aggressive and play alongside Washington.
A stabbing intervention to get away from danger there from AV Alta. It really does feel like Portland Hearts of Pine are trying to feel out exactly what areas are available to them right now in the attack.
A little bit of frustration starting to set in for Washington and Keegan. That's why you start to see Keegan in particular drop deep, just trying to search the game and get touches. It's actually the opposite. When you're not seeing a lot of the ball, you want to stay as high as you possibly can. Seemed like almost a handball there. Just to occupy the 2 center backs, and that will allow you to get on the end of service, but also the players underneath you affords them so much more time and real estate just to play in between the lines.
So if you're Bobby Murphy, do you change it at halftime, or you wait to see what might unfold in the second half? Intercepted.
I think you have a pocket presence. You need to go into a 4-2-3-1 formation for Bobby Murphy, because that's when you found the most success. When we saw Kamara come centrally, when you had Quinones coming around the corner, because you do that against AV Alta to have only one single pivot. Alisson, if you can manipulate him to get him out of possession, the game will start to open up in central locations.
Now the Trinidad international Natty James is available, waiting in the wings. Just back from operations in the Gold Cup. See if he might be injected into this contest to make an impact. As for now, there's still a little bit left in this first frame. Mikey Lopez hatching his plan and hooking one in to Quinones. Kamara on the spin. Keegan couldn't wriggle free. It was always going to be a tall order. Alisson, heady touch to get away from the tackle before it came.
Tough challenge here from Mikey Lopez. Knows exactly what he's doing. Great touch around the corner from Alisson just to beat the initial line of pressure. Very surprised that Lopez does not see yellow here. I think he gets away with one.
He did pull up just at the last second, kind of put his hands in the air knowing what was going to happen. I'm with you though. This has gotten very physical throughout the course of the contest. It's 2 minutes of stoppage time. Stoppage time is presented by Visit Maine. Pulsed away. Another big collision there. Alisson entangled once more. Swept in behind, the flag's immediately up. Don't see that much in the modern game anymore.
Unless the assistant referee is 100% certain. In this instance, Wada doing a good job of just keeping this play alive. Only right about half of a yard off. Good pick out by Luis Arroyo and his refereeing crew. Right side of your screen. Just a bit early within his run, Ollie Wright. Good recognition of space, just needs to time it a little bit better.
He's been dancing on the edge. Most of the time, that's a good thing for him. This is a wonderful bit of dribbling from Desdune. Mabumu Alisson spots the wide man. Javier Mariona. Still Mariona. He did everything right until the final moment.
Just trying to use the movement from Ramos as a decoy from Mariona to let the play develop and hope that Quinones would go with the runner. That allows him to come a little bit more centrally. Just mishits his strike in the end.
Ebbing to the end of a first half that's seen AV Alta climb in front by way of Jerry Desdune. It was a thunder strike from just outside the 18-yard box. Has the side from California, 8 games unbeaten and in position to make it 9 as we hit the half. 45 in the books. And it will be a test of resolve for Portland Hearts of Pine as they head to the dressing room.
For AV Alta and Brian Claiborne, probably the happier of the two managers in terms of the result, but through the play, Portland Hearts of Pine threatening more, getting on the ball a little bit more, creating opportunities, but this game in the second half will be won and lost into that final 18-yard box. That final third and being clinical for Bobby Murphy will be the top priority.
More to come on the Hannaford halftime report when we return. AV Alta at the wheel and ahead here in the state of Maine.
Most homeowners have it somewhere in their house. It's that one bad window. It's drafty, or maybe it sticks or leaks. You'd love to replace it, but think, no company is coming out for just one lousy window. And truthfully, most companies won't. But we're Renewal by Andersen, and we'll replace just one window. Call Renewal by Andersen today for a free window and door diagnosis. 207-804-4500.
Broccoli is my favorite thing. That's the OG superfood right there.
Fresher is healthier. So Hannaford has that going for them with us in Maine.
We've been doing business with Hannaford for
my whole life. Our roots here in Aroostook County are very deep.
We were a potato family until broccoli was introduced. We'll cut something today and literally we'll be at the store tomorrow. It doesn't get any better than that.
At PAPE, we've dedicated over 50 years to making sure you do better. That means better prices you can always count on. It means you'll find extensive inventory. It means you can expect top-notch service. And most of all, it means you'll work with a team that listens to what you need and makes it a priority. So why are we so driven to make sure you do better? Because at PAPE, the only thing we love more than cars is people.
At the Hannaford halftime report, Portland Hearts of Pine all to do heading into the second half of play. This is a packed portion of the calendar for them. This is what the schedule looks like on Sunday back at home against South Georgia Tormenta.
You're playing here at home and you welcome Tormenta and Greenville Triumph. You want to continue to pick up maximum points for Bobby Murphy. 2 wins, 1 tie, have not lost at Fitzpatrick Stadium, Portland Hearts of Pine. So you want to continue to push up the USL League One table. Really important stretch of games for Portland Hearts of Pine.
This middle portion of the year where most teams make their move. And these are the standings as they sit right now. AV Alta, as it is going for them, could make some real noise in year one.
In their last 5, 3 wins, 2 ties, for Brian Claiborne, pressing all the right buttons on and off the ball as we see AV Alta push all the way into third.
You see Greenville Triumph just outside the pack there. Who is up next beyond the match on Sunday for this team at home. Portland Hearts of Pine currently leading 2-0 against Westchester SC. They had gone 8 games in the league without claiming victory. It looks like they might make it 2 in a row. Greenville Triumph getting right. This league is so contested this year.
Robus Arrea, the 2 goal scorers for Greenville Triumph in the 22nd minute. Spokane will welcome Texoma, and then Texoma will welcome forward Madison. And like you said, Payne, every single point matters in USL League One. If you can get on a run, now you can really make some noise and push up the table.
These are 2 expansion clubs in action today. All the expansion sides have been worth the medal this year. Hearts of Pine fan, Maine Med cancer patient Jess Donovan is missing tonight's match while receiving treatment. But while she isn't in the stands, we hear she's keeping a close eye on the match from her hospital room overlooking Fitzpatrick Stadium. The whole Hearts team is sending its love to Jess tonight. We all look forward to seeing you back at Fitzy soon. More to come when we return.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load off Fanny. Take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Who wants that smoke? You want that smoke? Look, I ain't playing, I'm saying this ain't a joke. There ain't no bluffing, I'm calling you out for show. It's either all in or nothing, I go for broke. Who wants that smoke?
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water unique? It's our commitment to making our bottles from at least 50% recycled plastic. In fact, Crystal Geyser is the only beverage company in the U.S. to exclusively own and operate 2 plastic recycling facilities. And you can help us make an impact too by always remembering to recycle your bottles. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Simple, but not easy.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Brilliant strike from Nicoletto. Push the switchbacks up 1-0.
Slotted toward goal. A flying start for Charleston Battery at home. Ticking down to the second half here in Maine. It's Portland Hearts of Pine. Some ground to cover to come back against AV Alta. Peyton Gallagher with Ricky Lopez Aspen at the Hannaford halftime report. The news and notes from around the league. Another new face in the division, always a good thing. Boise unveiling the identity in the green is a slick look.
Just growing the USL umbrella up and growing the game of soccer in our nation. So hats off to USL League One as we welcome Boise and we talk about Blancas. Recorded the first hat trick in AV Alta's history in the club's 4-1 win over Naples, and he scored some fantastic goals within that performance.
Got a feeling we might see a couple of those here in a moment for the goals in the week and the saves of the week. That's coming to you. But before that, Greenville Triumph leading the pack in their group in the Jägermeister Cup. See if they can't maybe get out of that. Create some intrigue in the knockout round, though. But as promised, the goals of the week, the saves of the week from this past week in USL League One.
The signal right leaves it. Crafty bend by Nathan Messer. A lot on it. Out front, still loose. AV Alta tries to clear it away. Ollie Wright regathers. Out front again. Redirected. Top corner. Wrestles the twine. A goal apiece. Liotti gets it to go.
In by Evans. It sits up. Robles. How has the ball not found the back of the net? Some stellar performances from around the division. You see some of the goals in the big moments. Some of those architects are in the team of the week. Ollie Wright, Azad Liotti. Representatives from this Portland Hearts of Pine bunch, Sebastian Cruz, Carlos Aviles, making their name known, as well as the players in the team of the week in our game that will continue. When we come back, Hannaford halftime report comes to a close. Second half coming to you when we return. Here in Portland, Maine, it sits 1-0.
At LL Bean, we've been innovating for over a century, making great products better so you can feel better. Day after day, year after year. Outside together since 1912. LL Bean, be an outsider.
I'm David Libby, President and CEO of Town & Country Federal Credit Union. At Town & Country, we work hard to make a difference every day. From providing a first auto loan to that young adult just starting out, or making the dream of home ownership a reality with a mortgage offering closing costs well below nearly every other local lender, or a Visa credit card with a great rate. Town & Country Federal Credit Union is local people helping local people. Let us help you.
Soccer, more than any other sport, brings together fans of different backgrounds, different cultures, different communities, and makes them one community.
Has anyone ever seen anything like this? It's magic. There's no other word for it. It's magic happening here in Portland.
This is history. This is momentous.
We officially have professional soccer in the great state of Maine.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Allagash. Halftime coverage was brought to you by Hannaford. Tonight's halftime highlights are presented by Kennebec. Here's how that first frame went. Here in Portland, Peyton Gallagher with the former pro, Ricky Lopez Aspin, and it was Portland that was really close to the doorstep a couple times early.
Portland Hearts of Pine was the better side in that first 45 minutes that were creating opportunities and really threatening their attacking goal. They set up their defensive structure really good and made it really difficult for AV Alta to create any clear good goal scoring opportunities. This is probably the best early on in that first half. Good save in the end for Morris to deny Mariano.
Then on to the 28th. Once more, it's just a passing blow from JT Kamara.
Just the decision-making was lacking for AV Alta, doing a good job at getting on the half turn, but you have Ollie Wright in acres of space to your left-hand side. And then, again, a very similar opportunity here for Kamara. Comes century to his preferred left foot, unable to get enough power and enough shape to really test Avila's easy save in the goalkeeper in the end.
And it felt like Portland Hearts of Pine were close to breaking through, manufacturing another good look here by way of Ollie Wright.
Keegan, really awkward the way that he falls into the second post. Backtracking, hits his back on the post, but AV Alta, what a fantastic strike this was from Desdune to get himself into a nice little pocket of space. No one closes down the window, and notice how quickly he gets a shot off. First touch out of his body, it's second to the top corner, no chance for more. And just like that, AV Alta take the lead into halftime.
A thudding blow from Jerry Desdune as we take a look at the halftime stats brought to you by Memic. Anything stand out?
Just see the possession for AV Alta, 57 of it for Brian Clementine. That's to be expected. They want to be ball dominant. They want to create opportunities for Portland Hearts of Pine. Once you do get into the final third, you need to be ruthless. You need to be a little bit more decisive. It was too many times Takers playing that extra touch, so that allowed AV Alta just to get players back. For Bobby Murphy, play of speed and tempo will be the top priority in that second 45 minutes.
Do not expect AV Alta to cede an inch. They are who they are, no matter where they are, as they find themselves here in Portland. The fourth consecutive sellout for this club. A piece of history in USL League One, a sign of the growth of the game, but also the work that's been done by everybody in and around this organization. It is a special thing. We cannot say it enough, what's happening in Portland.
Quickly making Fitzpatrick Stadium a fortress for Portland Hearts of Pine. They're just so good in front of their home faithful, and it's a place that teams don't want to come and play. Really difficult to get a result here in front of the thousands in attendance.
And knowing Bobby Murphy, he will have sold his players on the fact that it's another chance to make a memory for these people here in the next 45 minutes.
And how do you get them to continue to come back? You have to produce a little bit of brilliance and some magic and sticking the ball into the back of the net. Big second half here for Portland Hearts of Pine.
Buoyant as ever. See if Portland Hearts of Pine can find what is required again against one of the hottest teams in the USL League One, AV Alta. As previously mentioned, Portland have been a much better second half team than first half team this year. Hardly scored in the first half of play all season long. These last couple games, in fact, they've really taken off, scoring plenty of goals in the second half of action. Had only scored 3 in all games preceding that match against Union Omaha, but have 4 in the last 2 games, one of them coming against AV Alta. Pair of clubs separated by the greatest vastness of distance of any two in the USL League One. On each other's noses once more. Desdune. Jerry Desdune gliding in on the left foot. Villalobos. Mabumu Alisson. And driving forward, Javier Mariona. It's just poked free of him. And Portland clear the lines. Both sides unchanged coming out of the break. That surprised you at all?
In terms of the personnel for Bobby Murphy, you do have James Edders on the bench. He can come and provide a little bit of an impact. We've seen Walter Varela as well be a little bit more direct. And for Brian Kleben, Walter Martinez is a player that jumps off the team sheet, a player that can play, whether it is in the back line, but also be aggressive. So as this game continues in the same type of trajectory, I'd expect good touch.
Unfortunately, the move is ended by the whistle.
Expected in particular, this Portland Hearts of Pine maybe change Jake Keegan coming off, give him maybe about 10 to 15 more minutes and see if he can be a little bit more impactful. But defensively, we've already seen Portland Hearts of Pine drop in Jake Keegan, almost play as a number 10 underneath Washington.
I know, Ricky, you remarked at halftime, sentiments echoed by me as well. The first half really felt like it lacked an identity, a flow, if you will, throughout the course of play.
Just no real rhythm. It was almost direct ball after direct ball. Teams starting to stall out once they do get to that final third. But for Brian Kleben, you can be very pleased with that, especially when you're on the road. Doesn't need to be your best football, just need to grind out a result, and you've done that through the first 45 minutes. So big test in terms of the mentality for AV Alta as well.
A little bit casual as the ball rolled back to Kamali Green. He does sweep downfield for Titus Washington. JT Kamara now. And it's pinched away from him for a throw. Hearts of Pine have used all 5 substitutions in 3 of their last 4 games, a sign of the growing depth, maybe confidence Bobby Murphy has in the club after only doing so, using all 5 twice in the first 6 games of play for this club. In turn with that, they've found a lot more goals. It would serve Portland Hearts of Pine well to get that man more involved. Nathan Messer. This is Wada. Sculpting a ball wide. This is expansive from Portland Hearts of Pine. JT Kamara. Masashi Wada. Massaging a pass wide for Messer. And Ollie Wright. Keegan grabs hold. Messer flashes in a cross. Scooped away by Villalobos. Still not out. Kamara. JT Kamara busy on the ball. It's going to be a free kick. Just inside the D. JT Kamara doing well to burrow in and draw the contact.
Good recognition here from Mikey Lopez just to keep this ball alive. Tell you what, initially it does look like Robledo does make contact with the ball. Soft from Luis Arroyo. Give credit to Kamara. He makes the most of it. He goes down and wins a really dangerous set piece. About 20 to 25 yards out from their attacking goal for Portland Hearts of Pine.
It would be difficult technique, not impossible, for Ollie Wright to get the ball up and down with enough pace to trouble Aviles from this tight end. The chessboard that exists inside the 18-yard box right now. And once more, it's Portland employing the tactic of trying to place more bodies in the wall to try and make it difficult for Aviles to see anything coming his way. About half the players on the field are in this barricade.
Notice the 2 Portland Hearts of Pine players in front of the wall, just providing a shield in front of Aviles, not allowing him to see the ball, so expect them to split once a player approaches.
Just shy of digging a moat. So it's JT Kamara and Ollie Wrights. Kamara goes for it, saved up the line and headed over the goal. The man was Messer, and he missed by millimeters.
Does a great job, Messer, to follow up. It's exactly what you're taught at a young age. And more importantly, keeps himself onside, just unable to get his feet set underneath him and mistimes his jump. What an opportunity that is for Portland Hearts of Pine to draw even right after halftime.
It does not get closer than that. As for now, it remains 1-0. Messer takes hard contact after being undercut by Alassane. Just to add a little insult to injury. When you miss a chance like that, how important is the next couple minutes just to get that out of your head almost, get back to playing the game?
Crucial. So now if you are a teammate of Messer, get him back on the ball, get him touches, and get him in a rhythm just like this. And there's no coincidence that it's Mikey Lopez, a player of the experience for Portland Hearts of Pine, just to play it into Messer and get his confidence back up.
Team's leader in touches. Plays one into a dangerous area. Ollie Wright rambling in. It's saved by Aviles. Portland Hearts of Pine darken the doorstep again. They are banging away at the door. Aviles refuses to budge. This is more like it, though, from Portland's. As Washington dispossessed. Advantage to be played. Well, apparently not.
Just a luxury to have for Washington, the ability to require so much attention, but can also bring in his teammates. Ollie Wright recognizes the space, allows him to be really vertical, and give credit to Cruz, doing just enough to throw off Ollie Wright. Allow Aviles just to come up and cut down the angle. Well, those are the types of actions that you need to see more on a consistent basis if you are Bobby Murphy and Portland Hearts of Pine.
We saw Ollie Wright score that exact same goal twice against Union Omaha. Carlos Aviles has been in peak form. His side trying to add some insurance. Maneuvering into the final third. Robledo. A heavy touch. It's contained by AV Alta, but done so illegally. Offside is the ruling.
As we're starting to see Washington be more of a focal point, of a reference point to play into for Portland Hearts of Pine now for AV Alta. The two center backs and outside backs need to be really clever, as when they do play into them, they need to provide coverage and just drop underneath the center back, because that type of movement to play into your number 9 and run off it will be something that Portland is want to see a little bit more.
Hoisted into the path.
Good move.
And oncoming, Quinones. Unable to carve his pass in behind though. Alta, unrelenting. The short passes trying to build out of their own hands. And a clever winning of a free kick for Portland Hearts of Pine.
Just a work rate a bit different for AV Alta, for Portland Hearts of Pine. It's coming out of the break. Whatever Bobby Murphy said really struck a chord with his side. The work rate is there, the tenacious ability to want to win their individual duels. Doing that, they win a dangerous set piece.
They have averaged more completed passes this year, Portland Hearts of Pine, in the attacking half than their own. They have this nature to them, just sitting on the chest of their opponent, making it difficult to breathe. Starting to get uncomfortable for AV Alta. Just nearly an hour gone. Messer and Ollie Wright. In by Messer. It's a well-sculpted ball, but the flag has popped up on the far side. Wonder what he's thinking. If there is one thing certain, is this one is skipped out of play for a throw. These are two of the highest quality managers having a real battle in this league.
What we've seen from Brian Claiborne and Bobby Murphy in year one of their respective clubs, created an identity, who they want to be on and off the ball, how they want to approach the game mentally. A fantastic job at building a culture within their respective units.
Morse there to put an end to any threat. And you see the full reserve of bodies in motion for Portland Hearts of Pine. Can't be long now before Bobby Murphy pulls the ripcord and goes to his bench to try and change the game. That's usually the role we see for Titus Washington, who's led this team with 7 substitute appearances, forced into starting action today. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches in the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC and the new Sirius XM app. Desdune already with one. He is the point of difference. Still Jerry Desdune gnashing his teeth, showing the fangs, and in fact, it's a fangless ball. A little bit of a lull in the game. How are the U.S. men's national team boys doing?
2-0. Diego Luna brace in the first half.
USL product, Diego Luna.
USL's massive Moon Boy.
Biggest league in the world. That is, I believe, geographically true. In fact, AV Alta and Portland Hearts of Pine are proof positive. But yes, we love the Moon Boy. Ball in over the top. A bit of grappling there, and a foul's been given. It appears against AV Alta. Sashiwara. He has been a strong point for Portland Hearts of Pine today. Ollie Wright looking up, launching a ball in behind, but again, just not with the placement required, and the veteran Jimmy Villalobos is on his horse.
Just too predictable for Portland Hearts of Pine. You have Washington as the lone striker making a run, but there's no secondary action to try to unbalance. This AV Alta back line makes life very easy for the two center backs because everything has been in front of them for Brian Claiborne.
Moved along, rolled into the feet of Eduardo Blancas, and wider still, Desdune. Still Desdune, has Messer on a plate, but Moore steps in front. Jerry Desdune, the Haitian, really starting to cause more and more problems for Portland Hearts of Pine.
Desdune just a vertical threat, so good 1v1 and so explosive. Ability to put his individual marker on their heels, right foot, left foot, no problem whatsoever. 2 goals, 2 assists, and he's a player, 3 goals now. He's a player, Brian Claiborne, that you need a lot of production. Big time player in USL League One.
Had the 2 assists last week, setting up Blancas, team's leader in chances created and box touches. But now on the other end, some last-ditch defending required. Looked like Master Antonio, who carried the brunt of the impacts. It was him and Keegan who came together as the ball entered a dangerous space, and Luca Mastrantonio, back in the starting 11 today, has acquitted himself well, but now must carry a knock.
To see the frustration here from Jay Keegan. Understand that he needs to get goal side of his individual marker because Washington pulls out Parajo, and that allows that pocket of space. Mastrantonio doing a good job at the last second, beating Keegan to the spot. Falls awkwardly, but flawless defending from the center back.
just keeping up with the accounting in case it becomes relevant down the line. Eduardo Blancas was booked earlier, that occurring behind the course of play. And as for the present tense, Mastrantonio is back up. We're told that Blancas was booked during that throw-in on the far side that preceded the move that saw Mastrantonio get hit. Mastrantonio is back up though. Kind of surprised how much AV Alta has allowed possession to belong to their opponent.
Just sitting a bit deeper and trying to keep this lead intact for AV Alta, but you have to find the right amount of balance in doing that. You do not want to invite too much pressure and let the momentum grow too large that Portland Hearts of Pine are continuing to knock on the door. Again, you're looking at that middle three, Robledo, Alassane, and Villalobos, just to get on the ball a little bit more and take the game away from Portland Hearts of Pine like we saw in that first 45 minutes.
Kamara weaving. Can't place it on the foot of a friendly face, and here's Jerry Desdune. Plenty of Raiders to his left. Desdune still carving. Putting on the brakes is Mariona. Putting on a show is Mariona. Down to the top of the area. Now AV Alta set the tempo. Snaking through the mid-park. No whistle to be had. There it is. I think the referee was waiting on advantage to be played, but none really presented.
It's a very similar profile to Ollie Wright, Mariona. Very good 1v1, slippery. Not a lot in that whatsoever.
And Natty James is ushered in. Day done for Jake Keegan. His longest run out in some time comes to a close. And there could not be more of a world of difference between two types of players. This substitute is brought to you by $3 Deweys. So Natty James, fresh off the Gold Cup, in which he appeared in all 3 group matches for Trinidad and Tobago. Also spent some time preceding that in World Cup qualification. Did play against Rhode Island FC, but this is his first reintroduction in front of these fans.
What an exciting player James will be for Portland Hearts of Pine. So getting him up to tempo and his relationship with Washington will be crucial for Bobby Murphy. Players that like to be direct and stretch the back line, but also very skillful with the ball at his feet.
If you are to play a fantasy football type of approach, really is difficult to envision a better front 3 on paper than Leotti, Ollie Wright, and Natty James when everything is firing on all 8 cylinders.
They complement each other very well, but they also have different strengths and within their performances. The mobility, but also the comfortability to do a little bit of everything can be a nightmare for opposing back lines.
Natty James. This is Natty James. Right to the point. It rolls out for nothing more than a throw, and a rising of the blood pressure of the goalkeeper Avalas.
Great idea here from James, just the timing a bit off. Trying to put it right on top of that doorstep for Washington to slash across that near post. Good idea. But just a lack of execution between 2 players.
That is such a good ball.
And that timing is going to come with players starting to get more comfortable with one another, understanding the type of movements that Washington really likes to provide.
Thrown into the area, not all the way clear. Thought about a shot. Cruz, quickly crowded, navigating the tight space, off the woodwork. It is narrow margins that has it at 1-0. Messer misses the other way. That comes awful close.
But almost a very similar goal to the initial one for AV Alta. Robledo doing a good job at just shifting the ball to his right foot and just opening up his hips to try to find that far post. If you are Vinberg or Green, you need to close down that space a lot quicker. Almost get punished twice.
It is AV Alta playing with the bravado now. Titus Washington is tired of that fact. Here's Masashi Wada. Ollie Wright trying to get his talons back into the game. Once more, it's a straightaway ball, and once more, it will be ushered out of touch. Chance to look back.
Just look how clever Obledo is to play in between the lines, and just so classy the way that he shapes this ball. About 19 yards out, has Moore's beat, just gets denied by that crossbar.
Robledo is a serious player, had some experience in the USL Championship in 2023, made 31 appearances that year. Him and Desdune, from all tracking, were out of the professional game last year, but have found a home in Lancaster in a big way.
Good ball.
It falls into a dangerous area. Green's got to get back. Angling in. Another tackle from Vinberg.
Fantastic recognition from the second center back. Nice move.
Natty James. 3 sheets to the win, and he is undercut. Yellow card. Mabumu Alassane. He's been on a razor's edge a couple of nearly moments already, and the name finally taken.
Knows exactly what he's doing. Alassane here almost throws himself in the path of Natty James. Creates a contact.
Once you see him skin the first and second, I think you got to be alert to the fact that you're not going on a highlight reel today. But already, as you said, the spark evident with Natty James. Masashi Wada, baton in hands. Unlocking ball, ever elusive still though. This is a big point for AV Alta. You know, Brian Claiborne has been very vocal. The word he's chosen is under construction. He said that a lot about this program. They can measure this level of professional defending, what they do going forward. It could be serious business. But here is Natty James. Avalez makes short work of it. Maybe looked a little bit more uncomfortable for him than it actually was. Feathery pass into the center. Mabumu Alassane moving it along. Floating into the corner. Vinberg in a tight spot. Caught in 2 minds, and he got the answer wrong. Pressing forward, AV Alta. Villalobos has his shot bravely blocked. Masashi Wada getting a chance to enjoy the fruits of his labor defensively and clear towards Titus Washington. Streaking through mid-park, Cruz. He gets forward down the line. It's just a loaning of the ball. He gets it back and clipped away.
Great touch from Kamara. Just want to go back to this opportunity from Green. Fantastic ball. It takes out that whole midfield line of AV Alta. Even better recognition here from Natty James, just to continue with the momentum. That's exactly where you want him operating in. Pulls up, unable to get clean enough contact, but if you can get him in between lines, facing towards the attacking goal, now you start to find success.
And that's what they weren't getting from Keegan, that ability to actually about face and do something with the ball, right?
The body position is everything for an attacking player. If you can receive the ball on the half turn, now the whole game starts to open up. It's the little things before you get the ball that create a massive difference that we've seen from Natty James.
The USL on CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown in the Championship Eastern Conference. Of course, last season's final runner-up, Rhode Island FC, in action against Northeast rivals Hartford Athletic on Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Portland Hearts of Pine all too well familiar with what Rhode Island FC can look like when fully engaged, having seen them most recently in the Jägermeister Cup. 4-1 result at Tidewater Landing. Looks like a couple of substitutes are being prepared by both managers. Green. That's clever on the ball. Matty James just losing out to Alisson. That's neat. It could be something. Ollie Wright shuffling in to take it back. And once more, it's direct. A darting run in. JT Kamara. A burst of inspiration. Ball in. Ducked away. It needed to be. Ollie Wright was lurking just in the tall grass.
Just great work from Alisson there to understand Brawl gets pulled out of position, so he needs to almost fill in as a center back. Flawless positioning from the center midfielder.
Putting their foot on the gas. AV Alta. Just losing the plot.
Just wanted to watch the positioning of Alisson here as the center back gets pulled out of position. Now his responsibility is just to shade that top of the 6-yard box and not allow any ball across. Great work and great recognition from number 5 in white.
73rd minute now. It's getting late early. Players enjoying a chance to get a swig of water. Don't think this has been given as a full hydration break, but the substitutions are made. Looks like Patrick Langlois will come on and try and provide some cut and thrust in the mid-park. Played 31 minutes against Rhode Island FC off the bench and only played 11 minutes in the one appearance he had made the 4 games prior. And Kamara also exits so that Walter Varela, a very talented soloist type of player, can check into the contest. These substitutions brought to you by $3 Deweys. On the other end, Blancas will not get a chance to add more to his account. He comes out of the match, as well as Javier Mariona. Homer Martinez, the one that's chosen by Brian Claben. So fresh blood into the contest. Could all open up either way as a foul is awarded. Pajaro comes over to take some of the sting out of the game. Alta more than content to just grind this game into a bit of a nub. Bobby Murphy will be frustrated with the lack of imagination his side has shown. Still time though. Ollie Wright gets a foot on the ball. Sifting forward, Portland Hearts of Pine. Kamali Green, Nathan Messer. A scoping ball, Titus Washington looping in. Aviles once more denies.
Really good movement from Washington as he starts century, just pulls off the shoulder of Masher Antonio, so Barajo needs to come across, and in the end, Ella's doing a fantastic job at just making himself big, and good reading of the play from the goalkeeper.
Aviles, very experienced #1 in this league, over 120 professional appearances. He is the first goalkeeper to tally a clean sheet with 4 different League One teams, and he had lost his job for the time being to Denzel Smith. Just recently away with Trinidad and Tobago as well at the Gold Cup, giving another opportunity to Aviles. Doesn't look like he's ready to relinquish that #1 posting that he's obtained in recent weeks. Walmer Martinez, time enough to take aim! Oh my word! It is a sculpture of the highest quality. Walmer Martinez rails his side, 2 goals to the good.
What a strike this is from Walmer Martinez. First to come centrally on his preferred left foot, and just notice how quickly he can get his hip squared around this ball. At the last second, just closes up the angle to give it that bend. No chance for Mort to come across to that far post. Great pace, even better shape to kiss it off that far post and to give AV Alta their 2nd goal here tonight.
A pair of bangers from AV Alta. They're making it a habit. Walmer Martinez, his 1st league goal for the side from Lancaster. And it comes in a good time. This is some statement that AV Alta are making today.
Just so efficient once they do get to that final third with 2 great goals from Desdune and Martinez. The way that they take the space and are intentional at putting the ball on target and just really testing Moore's 2 great finishes. But for Brian Claiborne, you need to be very pleased with in between the ears with what you've done defensively. Compact, winning your individual duels, showing a willingness to try to get this clean sheet through the first 78 minutes. Have done a fantastic job.
And beyond that, the maturation for the program, who did not take their chances against Portland Hearts of Pine at home and got pegged back. They do today. Aviles is booked for time wasting. Will only really be pertinent in the case of accumulation down the line. Not a lot of fouls in which a goalkeeper can be involved. In the actual run of play, that will be booked a yellow. Game of pinball. Aviles will take this in tow. You know, there's been some discussion as Aviles distributes long about whether or not time wasting for the goalkeeper should result in an immediate corner. How do you feel about that?
Interesting.
That's all I'm getting?
Yeah, definitely give
it a think.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you later. Here is AV Alta. Walmer Martinez carves in a ball. What a ball it almost was. Desdune was sneaking in. And this time, it appears it will be a goal kick.
Just so well balanced, this AV Alta side, once they do get into that final third. You have players that are inverted. So Walmer Martinez, left footer, wants to come century to combine, but also allows secondary runs and reverse runs from Desdune. They play opposite, but have a very good feel when to come century, but also when to provide width and go 1v1. And that is type of the principles that Brian Claiborne wants to instill with this side. Yes, you want to combine, but also if you can find an advantage and just isolate yourself, you need to take it.
Mastrantonio, touch of class. Side constructing from the back. It really, the patterns, this being for AV Alta, it's become second nature for them. It's been amazing how quickly that's happened.
Just so connected, and every single time one of the players get on the ball, there's just so many options that they can play into.
Searching ball in behind, it was Langlois. That was just meddling around inside the 6. It's forced out for a corner kick. And again, for this Tom's original corner kick, Portland Hearts of Pine, only one of 2 teams yet to score from a corner this year. It's a moonshot. Molly Green never really had a chance. And it's a goal kick.
Just too much air underneath it here from Messer. makes life very difficult for a player just to read the flight, but also just to generate enough power. There is a little bit of a push in the back here from Green. Good pick out from Luis Arroyo. When you have the extension of your arms away from your body, you're always going to get called for it.
10 minutes to go. Crazier things have happened in this league, that is without question. A hardy header. Custody obtained by AV Alta. It's hypnotic when they're in motion, but it's snatched away. Titus Washington tangling and twisting and unable to turn himself free. Natty James grabbing hold though. Now Ollie Wright, a little bit behind Nathan Messer, who's running. And nobody called out man on, but Ollie Wright able to take it right back. Ollie Wright cutting one in. James is free. Almost surprised him with how quickly the ball arrived at his feet though.
Just a bit of miscommunication between Ollie Wright and James here. You have Varela, the far post, and acres of space.
And Christian Ortiz, who's seen limited duty this year by way of injury, plays Jimmy Villalobos. Villalobos has been substituted now 9 times this year, the veteran. He comes off. Ortiz, a fullback, to add the extra dimension in defense. Also appears that Mo Muhammad will come in fresh off signing a full-time contract after serving a 25-day, earning his place in the squad. Ortiz was the starting fullback to start the year, lost that spot because of the injury. Fumbled away by Ollie Wright. Only the lone man back conducting things. Vinberg. Hooking onto it. Portland Hearts of Pine. It rolls free all the way to the end line. It's a scrap, it's a goal kick. It was Varela providing chase.
And just fantastic work from Robledo. Just to drop down, cover about 30 yards to deny Varela the ball across. Portland Hearts of Pine side just looking for some inspiration and asking for someone to produce a little bit of individual brilliance. Just something that Ollie Wright definitely has in his locker. Talent never in question, especially through the front line for Bobby Murphy, but the efficiency and the ruthlessness to take care of your chances and make them count. Big 6+ remaining here.
What's been missing today so far for Ollie Wright?
Just needs to be a little bit more composed and take his chances. We saw, especially in that first half, he really found some nice pockets of space, but just too long and trying to do a little bit too much when you do get on the ball. Ollie Wright is at his best when the ball's quick, when he's decisive, and he's clinical, like we saw with that hat trick. But just maybe trying to take too many touches and too many times trying to go 1v1. I think with a player like James that has came in, now he's going to require a lot of attention.
Ball into the box off the head of Washington, and it trickles wide.
So that should free up, whether it is Washington or Ollie Wright, and having that balance within the front three. Good ball here from Varela as Washington just tries to play off the shoulder Master Antonio. Master Antonio has had himself a really good game, winning his individual duels, but also his positioning off the shoulder. Parajo, true leader for Brian Claiborne.
Master Antonio, a proud player, was a central figure in that Union Omaha team that lifted a trophy this year. Early on this season for AV Alta, he even had the captain's armband, but has seen himself on the outside of the fishbowl as of late. Really taking an opportunity to seize his moment, which has been really true for AV Alta across the board. Every player given the chance to play that competitive aspect of the camp has been central.
That's all you can ask for as a player, is an opportunity to showcase yourself. And what we've seen from AV Alta and Portland Hearts of Pine as well, they're creating a culture brick by brick from step one. So everyone is on an even playing field, and that's all you want. Good idea from Ollie Wright, just a little bit too heavy, but it's just those things need to be cleaner. You need to connect that pass into the feet of Washington, run off of him. This hasn't been clicking, not only for Ollie Wright, but as the attacking unit as a whole for Portland Hearts of Pine.
Just flipped out of play. Substitutions being made. AV Alta will make their final ones. So it's Osvaldo Lay. That's probably the right call with Mubumu Alisson sitting on a booking. Lay has been such a key figure for them. Not in the 18 the last game against Naples, but had started the 3 matches prior to that in a row. With the collar popped. Desdune is gone as well. Eric Seja Gonzalez, the one who replaces him. That is a wide man in the attacking phase for a wide man in the defensive one. And it's time to shut up shop for AV Alta. Into the box, Titus Washington. Kind of shockingly uncontested amidst 4 defenders. Shot is blocked though. And it's snagged away by Vinberg. From Vinberg, I should say. Ortiz. Flying in formation, AV Alta. Well, that's a smart pass wide. Moved along for Lay. Lashes one down the line. Ortiz is going to be late to it. Does give it some competition. And finds himself in the ad boards.
A little bit of coming together between Ortiz here and Mohammed. There's not much in that. It's a hard fall. Dangerous, especially with the sideboards there.
Pair of sides laying it on the line and laying one into the box as AV Alta. The flag is down. Kamali Green stands his ground. Some Tar Heel defending from Portland Hearts of Pine. And just plastered out of play. It's been the story of the night.
And really good 1v1 defending here from Green. Not to dive in and just move his feet. Exactly what you need from a center back, especially in your defensive 18-yard box.
Aviles. Hammered away. Bit of a blind ball, and you see some balding in the bleachers. Not something we've come accustomed to for Portland Hearts of Pine. They set some history today with the sellout. AV Alta will rejoice in the fact that they're able to send some people home early. There are plenty still in the building now.
About that touch from Ollie Wright. Technical ability.
Whistle comes. At the pace of play in this half, you wouldn't imagine there's going to be all that much stoppage time. Board being calibrated as we speak. Ollie Wright, that's a dangerous ball into the center. It's 4 minutes. If it's going to happen, it must happen quickly. Stoppage time is presented by Visit Maine. Out for a throw. Down the far flank. A twist up, and that's a bit of a cheap foul to give away. Portland have been so potent offensively. AV Alta have absolutely had control of this contest, though, from the very moment they scored the goal. Coming late on in the first half by way of Jerry Desdune, Natty James, and now Nathan Messer asking questions with the delivery into the box, and Aviles not going to let go of his clean sheet that easily.
Just need more quality there from Molly Wright, especially from a dead ball. Ability to put the ball into the mixer and just ask some questions of this back line of AV Alta. It's been that type of evening in terms of the cleanliness and the efficiency for the home side in the final third.
Oh, what a run. And it comes to a close. Sebastian Cruz was looking to add a little bit extra. Just to maybe underscore the accomplishment from AV Alta so far, Portland have scored in 9 consecutive games heading into this one. Ollie Wright. Nothing Hunter Morris could do about the 2 goals that beat him today. It is a big part of what AV Alta want to do. I feel it's actually important to take shots from distance to force teams to step to them, to close them. Ryan Clavin's talked a lot about that, and it's those 2 shots from outside the box that see them likely across the line today.
It also gives you a different wrinkle and a different type of weapon in the final third, because we know that this AV Alta side is very comfortable in tight spaces. They like to combine and almost score a perfect goal and walk it over the goal line, but now they have the ability to shoot from distance at a very high efficiency rate. It's a nightmare to defend. Are you going to step or are you going to drop for opposing defensive units? So yes, this win will be fantastic for the mentality and the confidence for the side, but the way that they won is really something that Brian Clavin needs to be very proud to get a clean sheet in this hostile environment, but also to score 2 goals from outside the box. Dream day at the office for AV Alta.
I think that was a big thing entering the game, maybe the selling point. Both these teams had such uncut belief in what they were doing. It was going to be that kind of styles make fights type of clash. AV Alta, that's even sweeter.
Just so efficient. For AV Alta, you and I, Payne, will continue to talk about how good they are in possession. The team that wants to connect the most passes through the run of play hasn't been their best performance through those statistics, but yet you come into a place like this, you double down, you do everything as a collective, in unison, whether it is stepping, whether it is dropping. Character building type of win for this AV Alta side, who have not lost since May 7th in the Open Cup at FC Dallas. What a fantastic run that they're on at this moment.
Knocked away off course. And that closes the contest, and you see it all across the faces of those of the persuasion of AV Alta. The lads from Lancaster cross the country and come home with all 3 points. Back to the drawing board for Portland Hearts of Pine. They'll be engaged at the weekend on Sunday. But for now, the save of the match coming to you from the 10th minute of play here today, presented by Kennebec Savings Bank. Hunter Morse did as much as he could this evening. Great save here, but the 2 goals that he allowed, nobody stopping.
Good positioning for Morris to come across to his near post and just see the play develop and just notice the angle that he takes, unable to let this ball come across. Great save from Morris.
Plays of the match brought to you by LL Bean, and this would have changed the entire thing. Messer converting here.
Just need a little bit more composure here, and timing from Messer. Just leaves his feet too early and gets underneath it. You take another look at this auction from Ollie Wright, play into Washington. The movement from the attacking player, unable to find the back of the net in the end. Good save from Aviles.
You see it on Ollie Wright. We'll pick through the bones of it when we return. Post-game coverage coming to you. AV Alta victors on the day in the state of Maine as they take center stage and take this one 2-0 on the road.
Partnership means a lot of things in this business, and that's the most important thing, is being in a business relationship with someone that you trust, and that's what Mimic does. We want to make sure that everyone is getting exactly what they need, and we want it to be a long-term relationship. At Mimic, we want to lower their total cost of risk, and we want to get those employees back to work whenever we can. At Mimic, we make workers' comp work better.
At PAPE, we've dedicated over 50 years to making sure you do better. That means better prices you can always count on. It means you'll find extensive inventory. It means you can expect top-notch service. And most of all, it means you'll work with a team that listens to what you need and makes it a priority. So why are we so driven to make sure you do better? Because at PAPE, the only thing we love more than cars is people.
Final bell tolls from Portland Hearts of Pine on the day. Final score is brought to you by a Prey. It's not the one that Portland would have wanted as it finishes 2-0. We'll show you exactly how it got there. Right now, full-time highlights brought to you by Tom's of Maine. Peyton Gallagher with Ricky Lopez, Aspen, and Ricky. It was a captivating performance from AV Alta, starting with this from Jerry Desdune.
Just the aggressive nature from Desdune to play in between lines, and notice how quickly he gets his shot off. First touch out of his body, a step into it, and then just unleashes a rocket into that top corner. No chance for Morse to come across in a great first half for AV Alta. And then this goal, almost equally as good as Desdune as well, when Martinez comes centrally to his preferred left foot. Just notice the way that he gets his hips squared and closes them at the last second to give enough venom and enough bend to kiss it off that second post. No chance again for Moore's. 2 goals for Portland for AV Alta here on the road, and a big 3 points going back to California.
That is a craftsman strike as we look at the full-time stats presented by Renewal by Anderson. Portland had the chances, namely that one from Messer, just not that clinical edge.
Yeah, just need to be a little bit more composed for Bobby Murphy and Portland Hearts of Pine, and that is going to be a point of emphasis as they go again on the weekend, because they actually created some opportunities, but now you need to stick the ball into the back of the net.
Tonight's man of the match, presented by Trellis, is JT Kamara, who created a lot of havoc down the flank throughout the game, just once more could not break through. It all comes to a close here in the most northerly outpost in the USL League One. It was lively, it was loud, it was AV Alta that come across the line in flying fashion for our entire wonderful crew here in this production of the USL League One. Folks, for my partner Ricky Lopez Espin, I have of course been Peyton Gallagher. We will talk to you soon. The USL League One season continues.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.